That's what we think. That's what we say, right? And I couldn't believe that Charlie Kirk of all people was coming in our direction on that issue. And so I think their funding might have changed, to be honest. So
hey guys,
the right
Tommy,
is not the monolith that we thought they are.
Today?
Free thinking, innovative, totally open-minded. This is Tommy Nation Politics. What's up, guys? How's it going? I hope this message finds you in good health and spirits.
Hi, guys. This is Tom.
Whether they're liberals or whether they're left, the right wing is good at elimination.
Free thinking, innovative, and open-minded new independent progressive media. Streaming directly on social media platforms near you.
We have to start building issues right now. That there's, animals in a corner. Oh, what's going on here? F knows.
Leading to perceptions of dishonesty. On the topic. There was no better way for President Joe Biden to cement his legacy in pardoning his son,
U.S. President Joe
Biden.
Biden regrets pulling out the presidential race. This as per reports, and according to sources in the White House, Biden believes
the elder Biden had promised
He's talking about
people that
half of the white people in this country. Cenk debate.
Now, a fight is brewing tonight between two factions of the MAGA movement. The transitions, let's just call them tech bros, and it's immigration hardliners on the other side, over how the incoming Trump administration should approach skilled foreign workers. Now, two of those techies, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, posting on X advocating for welcoming skilled labor-based immigration, including the H-1B visas that tech, consulting, and other white-collar industries rely on to hire foreign employees. Now, Musk argues it brings top talent right here to the United States. But that ignited a fight among MAGA supporters who say the H-1B visas take jobs away from American citizens. Former Congressman and one-time AG nominee Matt Gaetz said of the tech bros, quote, "We did not ask them to engineer an immigration policy." Now, this fight comes as the president-elect is expected to launch some sort of a mass deportation operation for undocumented migrants after inauguration. NBC News had a one-on-one with his incoming border czar, who kept the door open to renewing the controversial policy of detaining migrant families. Take a listen.
Look, family detention, if we bring it back, it's on the table. We haven't finished the plan yet. If you choose to have a child here in the United States while you know you're here illegally and you know you're on a court order to deport, that's on you.
Let's go to NBC's Aaron Gilchrist now. Now, Aaron, let's start with this push by Musk and Ramaswamy, because it's the tech sector that stands to benefit big time from any increase in H-1Bs. But what could actually change here in terms of the policies over that program?
Tonight, an immigration cyber battle brewing among supporters of President-elect Donald Trump. Far-right activist Laura Loomer taking to X to slam Trump's new artificial intelligence advisor, Sriram Krishnan, for his past support of easing restrictions on skilled foreign workers coming to the U.S. Loomer launching a series of posts such as, "Our country was built by white Europeans, actually, not third-world invaders from India." Other MAGA figures like Steve Bannon joining in.
It's about taking American jobs and bringing over essential who have become indentured servants at lower wages.
The controversy is over H-1B visas, a program that lets foreigners with highly coveted tech skills work in the U.S. for up to 6 years. A program applauded and defended by some of Mr. Trump's closest advisors, including Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and others in the tech industry, which is heavily reliant on foreign skilled workers. Musk responding to the online barrage by saying, if you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be.
I think this is sort of a pregame, a sign of things to come. These tensions between the sort of what you could call the populist nationalist wing of the Republican Party and the new tech elite.
While Trump has promised a hard line on illegal immigration and mass deportation, many in the tech industry are pushing him to expand legal immigration for high-skilled workers, an idea he's hinted he's open to for foreign students.
Somebody graduates at the top of the class, they can't even make a deal with a company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on day one.
Yeah, so I think people are still trying to wrap their heads around what exactly the policy changes might be around immigration in general, and more specifically on this H-1B program that you referenced. Right now, this is a program that allows for about 85,000 of these types of visas to be issued, and these are visas that go to people who who typically go into jobs that require high levels of technical skills, right? And so that's why we think about Silicon Valley and how these sorts of folks might be fitting into what they do. Now, you see on your screen here that President Biden's administration just recently changed some of the regulations as it relates to this program. And the idea from the Department of Homeland Security is that they're modernizing the program by streamlining the application process for employers and for applicants. They're expanding the definition of specialty occupations and also serves to clarify which nonprofits.
The U.S. president has also repeatedly said that choosing Merrick Garland as Attorney General was
thumb in the eye to the Trump administration is the fact
Biden
that these new regulations go into effect on January 17th.
With his Vice President Kamala Harris after mounting pressure from his own party workers.
Coming out of the current administration and figure out how it fits into the larger picture of the Trump immigration policies.
So, I mean, Aaron, staying on immigration, but kind of zooming out here, we just heard from the incoming border czar, Tom Homan, earlier. Now, we haven't really heard the specifics on the incoming administration's plan beyond their commitment to some sort of mass deportation campaign. But restarting the detention of families would be a major and likely controversial step.
You're absolutely right. And we talked to Tom Homan. He said that his team, the team for Homeland Security issues that President-elect Trump is putting together, is still developing a plan. It's not baked just yet, but he does expect that there will be a larger immigration plan, in particular a plan around these mass deportations that the President-elect has talked about so much in the next couple of weeks, the next 2 weeks possibly. And he did not take off the table the idea of reopening family detention centers that he described as not being like jails, rather places where families can gather in these open air spaces and go through the immigration process that would bring in judges and things of that sort to deal with asylum requests. And so this still, though, creates the possibility, Brian, of family separation. Tom Homan basically said that it's going to be up to parents who choose to have children in the United States who are U.S. citizens, even though the parents are here illegally. It's up to them to decide whether they would leave their kids here with relatives potentially or take them back to the countries they're deported to.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics.
And right now, since they've gotten past the robotic establishment, they're in a state of kind of chaos, a chaos that's not so bad, in my opinion. And you're seeing it today, like MAGA attacking Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. If they were a monolith and they were robots and they were a cult, that would never happen. Now, I happen to agree with Elon and Vivek on that issue.
I was going to ask you, actually.
Yeah, but first of all, hey, there I am agreeing with Elon and Vivek. Why? Because they agree with us.
So this is about HB1 visas and allowing high-skilled professional immigrant workers who work in tech to be allowed in. The MAGA base says that that's obviously immigration and they want to cut down on that. But on all the money,
I didn't say people just
what are you talking about?
Have you noticed the radio silence of the liberals? They're kind of despondent. I saw this Francesca Fiorentini, Cenk debate, and the liberals have some issues right now that they're feeling attacked, they're feeling despondent. They're kind of like animals in a corner, which are dangerous. Animals in a corner. They lash out, bro. This could be a moment where we could build another movement. This could be a moment where they will just totally break off. There could be a moment where white people are scared.
You talk a lot about the left you believe you are doing, and I want to just explain, by showing, and I want to ask you what you think the goal is of what you are doing. But here was a moment where you were on TPUSA's, on Turning Point USA's conference, and Charlie Kirk, who is a Christian nationalist. He's an avowed Christian nationalist. TPUSA has had wildly racist and white supremacists associated with them, including inviting people like Nick Fuentes to speak. No matter what you think of his thoughts on BlackRock, here is him asking you about left media. And I gotta say, Cenk, this one sucked real hard for me. And you also, I think I've been using these opportunities to talk a lot about the left to the right.
I think the left has some work to do in developing over-the-top media to be able to bypass the main networks.
Yeah, so we have TYT as a giant network, but we have a lot of great progressive and populist shows that are not part of TYT. That's in the left-wing ecosystem.
I just want to stop and say I'm excited to hear which ones you like, given that you just sort of insulted Emma Vigeland just now. I'm curious which ones you actually do still support that aren't your own, but I'm going to keep going, Cenk. Hang on.
So I don't think that that's the issue. I don't think that there isn't enough shows. I think that there's a couple others. One, on the right, you guys do a great job of coalescing. Okay, so you do a couple of things well. You work together well, and you're more welcoming, if I'm being honest.
We're glad Cenk's here, right, everybody?
And a lot of people on the left know this as well. If you agree with MAGA 5%, the answer you get is welcome, right? Come join us, right? On the left, if you disagree 5%, they go, get out of here, you're a right-winger, you're a fascist, right? But if you push enough people out and you guys welcome enough people in, eventually you win the popular vote. That's what I warned them about, and that's what happened.
So I need to hear some liberals. Do you know any liberals that I could interview? I need to know if they're okay, what they're thinking. And Cenk, he's talking about.
I hope everyone enjoyed it, and there's a lot to discuss. And these are conversations that I think we're just going to continue to have.
The left knows that the right-wingers
when it comes to
are racist. They're racists. Half of the white people in this country, they have dealt with slavery the way normal people deal with trauma, right? Well, let's not talk about it. Let's not think about it. Let's try to make it better. Hey, guess what? DI, stuff like that, right? Maybe they overcorrect and stuff like that. But they try. They try to get through. They try to make it less awkward. That's the left, the liberals. That's the liberals. Now the right wing, they miss slavery. They miss the fact that we were not in the cotton fucking fields picking cotton. They wanted us to be slaves. And they still want us to be slaves, whether we're slaves or whether we're employees. Everybody knows what the right wing doesn't care about economic issues. They think that if they work hard, they can do it. They can be a billionaire. If I just save up enough money and I stop drinking, I can be a billionaire. They think that. Willie, you know this and I know this. The left knows
I'm sure that
whether they're liberals or whether they're left.
Somewhere in America, I've just never met.
We all know that the right wing is the only thing they care about.
Never met one in my life.
The only thing they care about, if they work with us,
a unicorn sooner.
Oh, and I agreed with
is
many.
Okay, well, fine. You can get Social Security.
In fact, probably
fine. You can get a weekend. But guess what? Black people can't live in a neighborhood that we can live in.
But I still would.
This is how the right wing negotiates. I want you to look at. I want you to.
Okay, so there you are, and
yeah, love it. Stick with 100% of what I just said there. I'm 100% right about that.
It is a lot higher.
Yeah. Let's discuss. You had your say there, and you've been saying various degrees of that same thing. And I gotta say, like, I watched this whole. I watched the whole clip, and it started off, and I was like, "This is pretty good.
Racism.
This is good. Like, pretty good interview. I like that you're sitting down." It wasn't that. This moment, like, truly a part of me died when I watched this.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah. Oh, super. Just like shriveled up and died, floated away into the ocean. Here's what happens. Couple things. He asks you about left-wing media and why there isn't more left-wing media. Which already, as you are there, in the sort of kingdom of turning points, is like, that's such a dig. Like, why are you guys so weak is effectively what he's saying. And instead of pointing out the way that TPUSA has been bankrolled by Republican mega donors out of Chicago and many other places for years now, and talking about how the Daily Wire was funded by the Fracking brothers, the Wilkes brothers. Now they're fishing for new, investors, whatnot, but that there is so much money on the right. He handed this answer to you on a fucking platter, and all you said was, you know what? You guys are really good at being welcoming. People just like you. Cenk, they've got all the money.
I didn't say people just
what
like
are you
me.
talking about? That's effectively you're good at coalescing. And here's my question to you about so that's just number one on the media, because that just stings because I'm in media. But on the 5%, if you disagree with MAGA 5%, they still welcome you. How did that work out for Liz Cheney?
Yeah. So look, is there a part of MAGA that'll push you out? Of course. That's what we know.
When do they push you out, Cenk? When do they push you out?
Largely when you disagree with Trump.
Exactly.
So listen,
this is the thing that it's the unspoken thing that you're never saying, that ultimately it's all hunky-dory. Elon can tweet back at you. Vivek can listen to you. But if you defy Donald Trump, the God Emperor, you're kicked out of the castle. And no one's defending Liz Cheney. Screw both their castle and the other castle. But Liz Cheney voted with Donald Trump 98% of the time. And just the 1% when she was like, hey, you know what? You can't do a coup on this country. And Adam Kissinger, and they were gone. So miss me with this 5% BS, yo.
So, all right, Franny, a whole bunch of things here. So, number one, you're right. That's definitely how Turning Point started. Daily Wire certainly started that way. I don't know what their current funding is, but they seem to have a lot more funding than any of us do. So, you're right, and I have said that in the past, and I probably should have put that in there in that particular appearance, and I will mention that, and that'll really grate on their nerves. But I've got no problems telling their audience, and I tell them all the time, no, you guys have way more money. And they're always shocked by that.
Observe, now that Trump is in office again, I want you as a white person to observe how right-wingers negotiate. They'll bring on some left-wing issues. They'll bring on some healthcare. They will bring on some fucking policies. But they're going to say, okay, fine, you can have affordable housing. But how about fucking trans people are dead? Hey, fine, you can have a fucking free healthcare, but guess what? Black people, or people that I don't agree with, or people that are like anybody that doesn't take the vaccine, right? We don't like them. The right wingers will pick a certain group of people that's pissing them off, and they will eliminate them, bro. The right wing is good at elimination, bro. They tried to ban gay marriage before gay marriage even existed, bro. The right wing will always use this time as a way to take something that we care about, put in our faces, and then say, fine, you can have it, but you got to get rid of somebody. That's what's going to happen, and we need to fight them. So I need you, and I need everybody to start fighting the right wing now. This is your wake-up call for the right wing to be fought. We need to fight them, bro. We need to fight them more than the liberals. The liberals are done. No more talking about the liberals. We can talk about the liberals later. Just like we can talk about the conservatives later. Everything has a season, man. And now that Trump is in power, it's time to start on the right wing. It's time to literally put him in a box. And fucking, if we want to negotiate, if we want to be political, if we want anything right now, Willie, if we want anything right now, we have to start building the foundation for that. And that means that we need to get serious. We need to get fucking serious real fast. Because if we just let the right wing go unchecked and go la 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 la, we agree with their populist issues of affordable housing. The only thing that they're going to do is they're going to say, fine, you can have it, but guess what? Somebody's dead. And that's how they are. Don't ever fucking forget that, Willie. I promise you it's going to happen. I wonder who's on the chopping block. The immigrants are on the chopping block for sure. The trans people, I think we're a little sick of them. Maybe they're probably going to go. Who's going to be off the island if we don't start building the foundation, bro? This is your wake-up call. So, yeah, as for Tulsi, I guess she was just a politician. My bad. I guess I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm not disappointed, bro. I've come to expect it. As for us now, we've got a fucking literal obligation, and we've got a mission now. It's called the right wing. We need to fucking make sure that they're penned in, leashed like dogs, because they dogs, bro. You let a dog fucking not be leashed, bro. You know what happens? You get bitten. So the topic of my discussion today is need to speak with a U.S. liberal. Liberal. Anyone? Anyone? Shut the fuck up, man. You don't know my pain. You don't know my power. You don't know my pain and power. Pain and power go hand in hand, sir. One must learn.
The FedEx guy for almost 10 years, the two podcasts I listen to every morning were TYT and MR. I don't want to start shit between your programs, but Anna repeatedly downplays Project 2025, stating that all the fear-mongering during his first administration didn't come to pass, not understanding that administration's competence as well as those in his... All right, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but you mentioned, yeah, now she's against calling Trump a fascist. I did see this. So, you know, I mean, look...
I just thought that was bait, though. Like, no offense. I'll let you get into it. But, like, I saw that tweet yesterday, and I was like, is this not just, like, bait? It's not engagement bait.
A trial period.
Like, it was just, like, wrong. Like, every point in it was, like, incorrect. About fascism, about, like, Trump. Yeah. So, like, it was just some words.
Well, I guess we'll comment on it just because, like, look, I mean, I'm just couching this by saying that, you know, it's not a personal attack. This is one about substance, right? And, you know, Anna in the past has been supportive and a good friend to me, so I feel compelled to say it's not personal, but I do feel like this is dangerous, what I saw yesterday.
Trump is deeply racist and he says deeply racist things, okay? I want to make a distinction between Donald Trump, the person who says and does racist things, and the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just going to use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors, and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
First of all, his entire cabinet had to threaten, not cabinet, administration, his White House team had to say, we're all going to mass resign if you roll out tanks against American citizens.
Okay, so if you think he's a fascist, wouldn't that justify taking physical action against him?
No, because that doesn't help. That devolves us further into fascism.
Whoa, what a straw man.
Exactly.
Can you pause it, actually?
There's a difference between somebody...
I guess I didn't see that part, but what, I mean...
If he's a fascist, why aren't you, what is the guy who tried to kill Hitler? Ribbentrop or something like that?
Right.
No,
I mean,
Ribbentrop. Yeah,
it's a way to continue to delegitimize what Cenk is saying there, and Cenk is absolutely right. I mean, look, if she wants a definition, fascism's a political ideology that it's an outgrowth of Mussolini and Hitler's reigns at the start of the 20th century. You can characterize it as highly militaristic, nationalistic, anti-democratic, a political movement that encourages violence against leftists, against LGBTQ people, minority groups. Sorry, what'd you say, Brandon?
I said marginalized groups. Yeah, go ahead.
Marginalized groups, right? Or anyone that's opposing you, and you know that can involve like a consolidation of power for the wealthy. I mean, the definitions of fascism are quite well established, but forced deportation, like that's unequivocally what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are proposing there is unequivocally a fascist policy. So to
it's demographically motivated as well, despite the like national socialist gloss that they give to.
Swerve to the right. I think they are going on the theory that if you can't beat them, join them, but they are still on our side. We as progressives don't have the capital we need to get our voices heard, so they have to play their stupid game spreading this shit, but we'll take that money to grow the progressive movement. Or maybe I'm naive.
You're naive.
Well, let's, I mean, look, so...
I'm sorry, you take $20 million from a 900 millionaire and then it doesn't pay any dividends and all of a sudden you're lashing out. It's very simple what's going on, and it's unprincipled and disgusting.
Well, I mean, look, I think that when you take that money and if they were to say have given people big raises or say voluntarily recognize a union without hiring a union busting a law firm allegedly
to reach people. I'm trying to reach people, guys. Hi, my name is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How are y'all doing today? Now, I'm just going to be on for a little bit because, you know, I might not find the person I'm looking for.
But you know who else I won't find? I won't find Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter's dead. He died on Sunday. Did y'all know that? That's crazy. Jimmy Carter.
Presidents. But he was 100 years old and he died anyway. Death comes to us unexpectedly, but assuredly.
as does taxes. Can we agree about that? Looking ahead, implications that events will continue to unfold. It influences the trajectory of American politics for years to come. The interplay between legal battles, electoral dynamics, public sentiment will undoubtedly shape the next chapter in this ongoing narrative of capitalist and late-stage capitalism, the decline of our American empire. But in such moments, one can have a moment of clarity. One might have a moment of sincerity. One might have a moment of severity. It's up to you. The power is yours. And what we make today, the choices we make today, guys, I always want to say just reverberate throughout not only our entire lives, the decisions that we are going to make in the future, but they impact our friends, family, and local communities' lives. They really do. That's what this election has done. This last election cycle. It's really influenced, impacted, thrilled, whirlwinded the lives of so many. It's a year that felt like a political thriller in itself. In the U.S. anyway. We witnessed a whirlwind of events that kept citizens in the edge of their seats. We had of course, the government shutdown experience early the year before, right? And then the child poverty tax credit didn't work out, but the tax cuts for the rich are permanent. And the campaign of Donald Trump took up steam as Joe Biden was clearly found out to be demented beyond a reasonable doubt, and secured the presidency to Donald Trump for a second term in office. First, he clinched the Iowa caucuses. I remember that in the primary, and then the Republican nomination amidst the chaos of his indictments. Despite everything, guys, despite the hush money payments, despite the 91 indictments, bro, we had a fucking juggernaut, bro. A juggernaut. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It was a criminal conviction lawfare. That's what I call it. And surviving 2 assassination attempts. And, like, his tenacity through it showed everyone, like, why he triumphed as the, I guess, leader of the free world. Quote unquote. Leader of the free world, guys. Is it free? If you gotta pay for it later. Is that what the credit card companies tell you? Meanwhile, Joe Biden began the year as the presumptive Democratic nominee, right? In all that chaos. He had the other plan. He had the shocking twist of bringing back the decency to the office. He's a decent man. Decent. Joe Biden is a decent man. A liar, but he's decent. The fate of other plans, guys. Shocking twists. Decided to drop out. Leave the race. Leave supporters reeling. Throughout the year, Biden had security handling his classified documents, of course. And not this Corvette, but his security detail. He had a lot of security going on, guys. A lot of prison, industrial complex money swimming around. His pardon for his son, Hunter Joe Biden, it came at a time right before he pardoned a guy who sold kids into private prisons. Did you all know that? Yeah, fun story. Controversial moves. Raising eyebrows. Felonies commuted and pardoned by the Delaware guy himself. They trains in Delaware. Joseph Biden. You know the thing. Family dramas, guys. Unlocking and unfolding from the beginning of his presidency to the end of the presidency. Joe Biden, at the beginning of the presidency, the laptop from hell, which everybody thought was Russian misinformation. And at the end of his presidency, he pardons Hunter Biden. Literally, his entire presidency was just for Hunter. So, don't feel special. That's cool, guys. We've got the guy back, the orange guy. And he's stopping at nothing to remain popular and formidable among his established colleagues in the Senate and the House. He's got his plan, his political arena. He's got his cabinet coming. He's got his high-stakes election. What they call it a mandate. The right-wingers are calling it a mandate now. A mandate for what? To make America great again. Like when? Like before segregation? Okay. Well, that's cool. All right, then. Like before segregation. Because, like, has anybody questioned the right wing about when they thought America was great? Because I have, and they can't answer. That leads me to believe that it was before segregation. Back before the poors and the blacks were in the neighborhoods of the whites. That's all I can say, unless I get another solution from that. And I would like to pursue that more with the right wing. I really would. But as for now, I need to speak with the U.S. liberals. Anybody? I need to make sure that they're okay, first of all. I definitely wanted to wipe the smug, arrogant smack from the Democratic Party's face. You know, because they don't care about us. They never did. They use our use our left-wing policies to actually misdirect to their corporate owners, their overlords. They use our relation. They use our sense of empathy to actually bring in right-wing policies, neoliberal policies, we call them. So the Democrats, it was a long time coming for this party to feel the smack of their ass out the door. But in the wake of that, I do realize that there are some people that are feeling despondent. There's some people that are feeling let go, neglected, disappointed. They're feeling like animals in a corner. And animals in corners, guys, are not very docile. They're very dangerous. Animals are in a corner. We could use this time right now to actually, form together, us liberals and us leftists. We could start to form a left-wing agenda that could actually be revolutionary in policy and start affecting, on a government scale, a populist left-wing candidate and usher him into office. We could do that now. If you guys are done with the identity politics, if you're done with the technocratic censorship, if you're done with the labels and shit, we could start to talk about economic policies. And we could literally do that, liberals, I mean. Liberals, we could talk about a whole bunch of things if you're feeling broken enough, if you're feeling less smug enough to tell us that we're racists or transists or something, or misogynists. If you stop telling us for a minute that we didn't vote for Kamala because she was a woman, we could literally we could start to talk about a real conversation that could destroy the right wing. Because God knows I don't like the right wing, liberals. But you guys have been in the way this entire time. You really have. We've been trying to fight the right wing all day long, the left. But you guys have been in the way. Fucking getting the Senate parliamentarian in the way of minimum wage increases. You've been telling us about a public option when we want Medicare for all. You've been in the way every time we start to talk about worker strikes, railroad strikes, Amazon strikes, Starbucks strikes. You've been in the way, liberals. Every time we want to talk about Gaza and the Israeli funding, the AIPAC funding, you've been in the way. So we hit you really hard. And now you're done. Now you're lost. Now you're broken. You got no power. And you won't for an era. For an entire era, the Democratic Party and the liberals, the white liberals, will not have power. So now maybe you can listen. And maybe you'll listen. Maybe now you'll listen. Because now, what you got to lose? I'll tell you what I got to lose, guys. I got to lose so much more. And you never know what you lost. You don't know until you go, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. Don't know when to go, but you don't know what you got till it's gone. Aww. It's a very interesting situation that the liberals have put us in. We have to build from scratch, literally. Nothing that will resemble a left-wing organization of government system. Because we've had neoliberal policies for almost the last 50 years, man. Almost the last 50 years. What the fuck how are we gonna build this out of this? What are we gonna do? Where do we go from here? Why is the end so clear? Why does the pain appear when we know hope is near? Well, I can tell you one thing, guys. The truth is that a lot of us Americans agree on very many things. And we can use those things, guys, to usher in an agreement from the right and the left. And it might not be so hard after all. Some people are already trying. Some people are already succeeding in that fate. Some people are already seceding that fate. Are you? Are you, this moment, hopeful? You should be. Because, guys, we have each other. Remember, like Bernie Sanders said, not me, us. Not me, us, guys. That means we have the power. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. We are the people. We have the power. We have different kinds of power. Maybe not power politics. We might not have power to vote on a bill and send it to the president to be signed into law or anything. But we do have power of influence within scope of our voices. And it's not completely and totally snuffed out yet. It could be the moment before it is. No. It could be the moment before it is. It's a fantasy, guys. A fantasy only Donald Trump can imagine.
Donald Trump's rhetoric has become, shall we say, more imperialistic. He's been talking about America like it's an empire planning to expand. Over the past week or so, Trump has proclaimed that the U.S. should reclaim ownership of the Panama Canal, acquire Greenland, and annex Canada as the 51st state. Now, Greenland's prime minister responded to Trump's idea by saying, quote, Greenland is